You know the Grand Canyon, right? That colossal scar carved into the earth, a spectacle of geological time drawing millions to its rim. We all see those endless vistas, the layered rock telling tales of millennia. But what if the marvels, the deepest secrets, are hidden far beyond the usual trails and scenic viewpoints? What if the canyon we know is just a front, guarding ancient indigenous mysteries and secret man-made tunnels so protected that can get in? Forget the postcards. We're diving into the Grand Canyon's shadows, a place full of forbidden zones and whispered legends. A place where ancient civilizations might have hidden away and where sacred knowledge is fiercely guarded from the outside world. Get ready to question everything you thought you knew about this natural wonder. So, for thousands of years, this massive canyon hasn't just been empty space, it's been home. It's sacred ground for many Native American tribes like the Hopi, Havasupai, Hualapai, Navajo, and Zuni. Their connection isn't just to the rock and rivers you see, but to something much deeper, a spiritual dimension woven right into the landscape. Take Hopi mythology, for example. It tells of their emergence into this world, what they call the fourth world, from a place the earth, and many believe this is right there in the Grand Canyon. Can you imagine? Their entire origin story linked to the very depths of this place. These aren't just bedtime stories, they're core truths that shape their whole culture and how they see life. Lots of spots in the canyon are sacred, traditional places vital for ceremonies. You won't find them on any tourist map. Their locations are super protected by tribal law and federal rules, and rightly so. Access is strictly for tribal members. Why? To keep these places sacred, spiritually whole, and safe from being misunderstood or worse, desecrated. Think about the Hopi salt mines. They're restricted. These aren't just salt deposits. They're hugely important cultural and historical sites, and only the initiated truly know their full story. And the stories don't end there. Paiute legends talk about the Havmusuvs, human-like beings with golden skin, supposedly living in a huge underground city in the canyon. Hopi legends also speak of ant people who sheltered them in underground caves during ancient disasters. Are these just myths? Or could they be clues, hinting at something real, hidden away in the canyon's unreachable depths? We know people have been here for at least 12,000 years. Archaeology proves it, with things like Clovis points, split-twig figurines, and ancient Puebloan pottery. These finds give us a peek into complex societies that were thriving long before Europeans showed up. But what about the places nobody studied yet? The spots considered too sacred or just too darn hard to get to? What secrets are hiding? Now get this. The Grand Canyon is basically a giant Swiss cheese riddled with over 1,000 caves. It's a whole underground world that's mostly unseen and unexplored. Out of all those, only about 335 have been officially documented. And guess how many you, as a member of the public, can actually visit? Just one. The Cave of the Domes on Horseshoe Mesa. So why so few? Well, there are some pretty good reasons. They're incredibly dangerous. We need to protect fragile cave environments and any undiscovered fossils. And there are strict federal laws like the Federal Cave Resources Protection Act of 1988. Trying to get a permit to explore most of these? Good luck, it's nearly impossible. But here's where it gets even juicier. What if some of these caves aren't natural at all? There are constant whispers and theories about ancient man-made tunnels, maybe built by indigenous people, like the Hopi, for reasons we can only guess at. Some researchers think undiscovered caves could hold amazing fossils, unique creatures, or ancient artifacts. And they're not wrong. Recent expeditions into remote Grand Canyon caves turned up incredible bat fossils, giving us a genetic history stretching back 30,000 years. If natural wonders like that are still hidden, what about man-made stuff? If you look at the official park documents about restricted areas, it's a long list. Places like the Hopi salt mines and the Hants mine are strictly off-limits. Now sure, some of these mines might have been actual historical mining operations, but some folks wonder if they could be ancient, man-made tunnels, their real origins and purposes either lost to time or, maybe, deliberately hidden. The idea of secret, man-made tunnels is a story that just won't go away when you talk about the Grand Canyon. Okay, you can't talk about Grand Canyon mysteries without bringing up the Kincaid legend. Back in 1909, the Arizona Gazette published this wild article about an explorer named G.E. Kincaid. He supposedly stumbled upon a massive, man-made cave system, like an underground city, packed with incredible artifacts. We're talking statues, copper tools, mummies, and even hieroglyphs that looked a bit like ancient Egyptian or Tibetan writing. The story goes that the Smithsonian even sent an archaeologist, S.A. Jordan, to check it out. They described this huge network of tunnels and rooms, showing signs of a super-advanced, ancient civilization. Some rooms supposedly had hundreds of mummies, each on its own shelf, with copper cups and broken swords. One chamber was said to have a large idol that looked kind of Asian, maybe like Buddha. The sheer scale hinted that maybe 50,000 people could have lived there. But here's the catch. The Smithsonian has always and very strongly denied any record of this. No S.A. Jordan, no G.E. Kincaid on their payroll, nothing. No actual evidence, no artifacts, photos, or verifiable notes has ever shown up to back Kincaid's claims. So most historians and academics today pretty much agree it was a hoax, just some sensational news story to sell papers back when people loved tales of lost worlds. And yet, the legend just won't die. It keeps feeding theories about cover-ups and hidden history. People who believe it point to the strange Egyptian-sounding names of some places in the canyon, like Isis Temple, Osiris Temple, Horus Temple, and Ra Tower. They also talk about a forbidden zone in the Grand Canyon National Park where nobody's allowed. Officially, these areas are restricted for safety, to protect the environment, or known Native American sacred sites. But the Kincaid story adds another layer of what if. Could these closed-off areas be hiding something even crazier? Some even say people who've tried to find Kincaid's cave have been run off by armed rangers, or that the military keeps an eye on these zones. That idea of a lost civilization, especially one with links across oceans, hidden deep within this American icon, it's incredibly compelling. Hoax or hidden truth, the Kincaid legend is definitely one of the Grand Canyon's most tempting and stubborn mysteries. So, aside from the sacred sites and the whole Kincaid thing, there are really parts of the Grand Canyon that are officially off-limits. And these aren't just polite suggestions, they're enforced closures. The National Park Service and other authorities give various reasons, and honestly, a lot of them make perfect sense. For example, the old Orphan Mine? It's closed because of radioactive contamination and safety issues. Areas around tragic events, like the site of the 1956 airline crash, are restricted out of respect and to keep the sites intact. There are also special ecological zones to protect endangered plants, like the Century Milk Vetch at Maricopa Point, or sensitive animal habitats like bat caves. Many known archaeological sites are also closed off to stop damage or looting. And sometimes trails are just closed for the season or for repairs. Even the sky above the Grand Canyon has flight restrictions, supposedly to keep things quiet and peaceful for visitors. But of course, for anyone leaning towards a good conspiracy theory, these restrictions, especially around areas with those mysterious names or near where Kincaid's cave was supposed to be, are just more proof that something's being hidden. The Grand Canyon is so unbelievably huge that over 90% of it isn't easy for the average person to get to anyway, which just fuels more speculation about what's hidden in those rugged, remote corners. So this whole forbidden idea isn't always about some dark cover-up. Often, it's just about being responsible, protecting irreplaceable cultural heritage, keeping people safe in a pretty dangerous place, and preserving the fragile natural beauty and wildlife. Still, the questions hang in the air. With so much of the canyon unexplored or restricted, can we ever know all its secrets? Even with all the mapped trails and millions of photos, the Grand Canyon is still a place full of deep mystery. Take the Great Unconformity. It's this geological puzzle where years of rock layers are just gone. Scientists are still scratching their heads over that one. Then you've got tales of cryptids, like the Mogollon Monster, a sort of Bigfoot figure from Native American folklore, said to roam the remote parts of the region. And of course, those stubborn rumors of lost cities and hidden treasures. They keep pulling in adventurers and firing up imaginations, even without any solid proof. It's not like we've stopped learning about the canyon either. New scientific studies are always turning up fresh info, not just about ancient people, but also about its geological and climate history. Stalagmites from untouched caves are giving us vital clues about past climate change, helping us figure out what's coming. Archaeological digs, even ones from a decade ago, found really important stuff about ancestral Puebloan life along the Colorado River, including a kiva, which is a sacred ceremonial room. And just recently, new protected areas have been created, like the Baj Nwavjo Ita Kukveni, ancestral footprints of the Grand Canyon National Monument. This shows we're still realizing just how massive the cultural and historical importance of this area is, with thousands of known cultural sites and probably tons more waiting to be found. Maybe the real secrets of the Grand Canyon aren't about one big flashy discovery like Kincaid's legendary cave. Maybe they're woven into the incredibly complex geology, the deep and living spiritual connection of indigenous peoples, and all those vast, unexplored, or deliberately protected areas that keep their stories safe. The canyon kind of dares us to look past what's obvious, to respect what we don't know, and to admit that some places hold secrets that maybe, just maybe, aren't for us to find. So, what do you think is hidden in the deepest, most out-of-reach parts of the Grand Canyon? Lost civilizations, sacred portals, or just amazing natural wonders nobody's documented yet? Let me know your theories and thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you're into the unexplained and the forbidden, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we're always trying to get to the bottom of the world's biggest mysteries. The Grand Canyon, it's so much more than just a pretty picture. It's like a vault, holding ancient history, sacred traditions, and mysteries that just don't fade. Sure, the popular trails offer stunning views, but the fascination, that often lies in what's unseen, unspoken, and off-limits. Those whispers from indigenous ancestors, the legends of secret tunnels, and the pull of forbidden zones, they all remind us that this incredible place holds a power and a mystery that's way beyond what we normally grasp. It's a canyon of secrets, just sitting there, patiently waiting, its deepest truths maybe never meant to be fully known by the rest of us. And you know what? Maybe that's exactly how it should be.